I welcome you all to the 19th episode of STEM Girl Talk Show. We are proud to host yet another talk show this year, and I welcome Dr. Mercy Badu to the 19th episode of our talk show. Welcome, ma'am. We are so happy to have you on board.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm also very excited to be here to share my experience and have interactions with these beautiful young ladies all over the world.
Yes,
Thank you for having me, please.
yes, ma'am. We'll wait for a few minutes for others to join. Till then, I'd like to give a brief introduction about our STEM Girl Age Network project. Our STEM Girl
Yes.
initiative seeks to empower girls and advance gender equality in girls' education in the field of science and technology. And the purpose of our talk show is talk show is to enable girls and women to discuss the benefit and challenges of girls approaching STEM subjects, as well as to enable girls to overcome the fear in STEM subjects and to access opportunity in the areas of scholarship and choices of career in the field of STEM. I would request all of you uh, to keep your mic in the mute mode, and if there is any questions, please put it in the chat box. Dr. Mercy Babu is a senior lecturer in the Department of Chemistry, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Ghana. Her objective is to conduct critical research in natural products to advance green chemistry and addressing food security and water quality challenges in Ghana in the year of changing climate. She has won a number of international awards and fellowships during her PhD studies, which include the University of Michigan Africa Presidential Scholar Awards and the L'Oreal UNESCO for Women in Science Regional Fellowship. Dr. Mercy has also been working with mentoring organization to mentor young women pursuing careers in the field of STEM, and also she also co-founded the Women in Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics initiative. Dr. Mercy, can we move on to the questions?
Yes, please.
My first questions for you is how do you explain your field explain the line of your work and why did you choose it?
Okay, so as you already said in the introduction, I have all my university degrees in chemistry. So I have a bachelor's degree in chemistry. I have a master's degree in chemistry, and I have a PhD degree in chemistry. Yes. So basically, what I do is chemistry. The difference is that we have different branches of chemistry. So I use organic chemistry, and then in the organic chemistry, we have my interest is in the natural products. And so basically, what I look out is within our environment. Um, Plants and animals that are in our environment, what they give to the environment. So, if for example, you pick plants, what we get from the plants as human beings, how can the plants around us help us? So, you realize that one of the things that we have used over the years in our traditional settings is using plants as medicine. Even though there are a lot of school of thought that says that some of the things we do not have measurements or scientific data to back it. You realize that when we go back to our grandparents in our village, some of these have been used over the years and they have success stories as they have been used. So, as a scientist, now my role is to try to bring the science of all these things, that all these natural products that have been used over the years, and we don't have any science backing. What is the science? So that we'll either encourage people to use it more, or we'll tell them that no, this has to be used this way, otherwise it's harmful to the body. And so basically, that's what I look at in terms of my chemistry. Why did I decide to go into this? It's very interesting. I think I have loved nature. I had loved the things around us. And so I'm always interested to know, even for example, the food we eat. I'm always interested. I have some interest to understand that if I'm cooking this food, is it going to give me good health or is it going to be harmful to my body? Because we understand that even when you are drinking water and you don't do it in the right way, so my interest in understanding the things around us and how they affect our day-to-day activities, our day-to-day life, or gave me the reason to be in this area.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is, what inspired you to choose your field, and why do you consider what do you consider as the greatest achievement till now that you have?
Yes. So as I was growing up, so in my family, we were five. So the kids, my dad and my mom inclusive, so my mom and dad had five kids. So my senior brother and sister, I'm the third one. So my senior brother and sister, they had all pursued arts. That is the general arts. Some people did geography, some people did French. So when it was my turn, I think when I was entering the senior high school, for some reason, my dad understood that I'm good with mathematics. So for me, it was very easy. You were filling the form, you want to do maths. So you were going to, and of course, I also had some interest in maths. So in my house, I was the first person to move out of the arts and then go into. Then when I was in the SHS, Ghana used to have what is called the STME, Science, Technology, Mathematics Education Clinic. So the STME usually brings science students, especially the girls, together, and then we were kind of mentored or gone through some role model sessions and also experienced some of the day-to-day science application. So I remember those, even though I was very young, I remember at a point we were in such programs and then everybody was saying what they want to become. And then they had showed photos of profession in their attire. So I saw a nice woman wearing a lab coat white with conical flags, kind of looking into the conical flags, showing the conical flags. And they had written beneath the person a chemist. So immediately it got to my turn. I said I will become a chemist. Honestly, when I said I will become a chemist, then I thought of it that who is even a chemist? Because I think I was fascinated by the clothing of the person. Then, as time went on, I realized that I think the person who studies the chemistry is the chemist, and the pharmacist is the one who has applied the chemistry in the production or in the discovery of drugs. So I was then somehow able to bring a distinction, and I still stood by the fact that I wanted to become a chemist. So putting chemicals together was interesting to me. So I decided to pursue this. I completed my SHS education and then I got admission into the university. I was offered chemistry. So I came to the chemistry department and then I think one thing led to the other. I completed the PhD. I started the MSc program at the same university. At the time, before I could complete um, the MSc program, the university had introduced something that they wanted to kind of engage the young people that in various departments. And so I got the opportunity to apply, even with my MSc, to do your PhD as a staff. And so that is how my profession in chemistry started. And then I became a lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where I have been since. It's about 14 years now. I've been working with the university, and I think it has been very graceful. I mean, God has been good to me. I have it has I have moved from being a lecturer to become a senior lecturer, which of course is an achievement. Um, then I started my PhD. I got several opportunities to travel, to go and then work in different labs overseas to be able to complete the kind of research that I'm doing or I'm conducting. And so from one award to the other, which I think is good achievement. I completed my PhD. I came back home to continue with my lecturing job at the university. Then I applied for the um, Organization for Women in Science for Developing World, the OWSD Early Career Fellowship, which I won in 2019. So this kind of set me in the space to be able to set up my lab, buy a few equipment that I would use for my project. And before this, all through my travels and my PhD, any award that I received, I tried as much as possible to use the monies to equip my lab. Because for me, one thing was very clear. So I said I have worked at the university for 14 years now. My firstborn is 13 years. So you can imagine my marriage is as old as my work at the university. And so I knew that anytime I have an opportunity, the best thing I can do is to make sure I buy something because I have family home. If I don't build a lab in the house, for how long will I leave the family to travel all around the world so that I can get some work done? So anytime I had any money, I bought something. And so as of now, I have um quite a good lab that has some few things that at least I can use to do some of the work that I do. So I would say that having the lab is one of the achievements, and for me, it's a very big achievement at this point in my career. Thank you.
That's really wonderful, ma'am. It's truly inspiring. And the next question is, what are the challenges that you faced during the pandemic period, and how do you think it affected the food security in Ghana?
So the COVID-19 pandemic has been a big blow to humankind in the whole world. I mean, it's something that you try to explain and you do not have really the words to explain or to tell what has happened. Um, we all entered 2020 hopeful that in 2020 you were going to do that, going to do that, going to do that. Then somewhere early part of 20, we realized that a particular disease we were reading about that is as if it's not in our part of the world actually had caught up with us. So our university was closed. It means that you don't have students to work with in the lab. As if that is not enough, our basic schools have been closed, which is even more critical because they are the group that really is difficult for them to handle the protocols. And in my career, I mean, the career is young and I have a young family as well. So you realize that you are all of a sudden in the house with your children. I have 3 kids. You take care of the kids. If you want to do something, usually if you want to do something, you have to go to the office. That is where you will get some quietness. But here you are not even allowed to go to the office. So you in principle need to get your laptop closed or see how you can figure things out. So as for my research, I mean it was totally no lab work. As a chemist, majority of the times you need to be in the lab to get the results you are looking for. So we had to close the lab because my students had to go home. And then we used the pandemic to read wide to at least increase our literature base to understand things that are happening I used that time to put together um, a few manuscripts from the data that I have already, and then I applied them. Of course, I did apply for three of them. I got one, which I'm happy. I mean, because considering the circumstances, if I applied for three and then I didn't get all the three, but I got one, I am very happy. And so that's how I have used the period of the pandemic. And even up until now, we still have it. We are in it. We are trying to manage it in a way. It's not very easy because so in Ghana we have our basic schools opened, so all our schools are opened. But it's not easy. You try to tell your kids to follow the protocols, but you are always kind of scared when you take them to school and you pick them up because you don't know what they have picked. We are also teaching in the university. We have students there. We do physical and online interactions. um Even when you do online interactions, once in a while students will come in to have their questions answered for them. You cannot shut your doors because they are in school, they are here to study. So we are still managing with it, following all the protocols, have our nose masks on. In fact, before I started this we started this session, I just came out of a lecture, with my postgraduates. I told them that today I wanted to do physical to go through some of the things we have been doing. So I needed to give a talk with them. So we are managing in terms of food security. So earlier on when we had the lockdown, prices of food went up because you don't have drivers driving, even though we essential workers were working. A few people were allowed to go to places to get food. And so in the city, by the time the food gets to the city, it's expensive. Farmers had produce and is there at the farms and it's being rotten because enough transportation is not going there to bring it to the people to buy. And so you realize that it becomes expensive. And of course, before the announcement of the lockdown or during the announcement of the lockdown, people have heard and anticipated that there's going to be a lockdown. And so there was price hike. Everybody wants to increase the cost. So one of the things that under normal circumstances, Ghana, you will not buy it. So it's not expensive. It's Gary. I don't know how the Gary is produced from cassava, grits, dried, and then we eat, right? We either soak or use it for other foodstuffs. I think in Nigeria, that is what is used in the eba preparation. So, I mean, Gary could become so expensive all because people are rushing to buy Gary and store because we don't know how long the lockdown is going to take. So you can understand that it makes feeding expensive. Those who can afford are even crying. That is difficult. So those who cannot afford, then it becomes worse. And so that's how the pandemic has it. And I think even now it's so safe because some of the things that we don't get from our country, we buy from neighboring countries. It's not easy getting them. We have still closed our land borders. So it means that if I want to travel by land from here to Nigeria, it is not accessible officially because it is we have still closed unless I go by air. And going by air increases the cost. And then increasing the cost means that the consumer has to pay. And so it has a huge effect. I mean, it's a whole topic that if you want to discuss, you realize that it's even so the pandemic is supposed to be something that encourages good health. I mean, you need to have good health, good immune system to survive. But this same pandemic is putting a high cost on eating well and surviving. So it's a difficult thing to explain. Yes.
Yeah, we got a rough idea about the whole situation in Canada. And did you face any based bias during the time of your study or now at your workplace?
So the general issue about gender stereotyping, I mean, it's something that's is kind of widespread, right? So even though you might not see it glaring or staring in the face, it's subtle. It's there in a way. But the truth is that for for my department like this, we have three women. We used to be two, myself and my friend, and then we have a lady colleague who also joined. So we are three. The men don't really prevent us from doing anything. You know, the issue is that you as a person, sometimes you play you or you put all your cards on the table. So I'm a family woman. I have a husband. I have three children. The children are very young. So you realize that sometimes you are forced in a way to kind of look back. Hey, Charlie, what is happening in the house? Can I do this instead of doing this in the office? So it's not like somebody's preventing you from working or doing what you want to do. But you realize that the challenges you have is such that you would rather probably want to be to family because at the point the family issue is very critical. Otherwise, for my department, whatever you want to do, nobody puts anything on your way. I mean, if you want to take a key position in the committees, help build the department, I mean, you are free to do it. Once you deliver, of course, if you take it and you are not able to deliver, somebody would have to do it because nobody will wait for you to give all your excuses because you are a woman and then you have a family. So once you decide to do it, then you put in your effort and you will have the support of the men in the department. Yeah, so really at the department, nobody or in the university, the only thing is that sometimes you don't see a lot of the women. So I said that my department are three. So it means that sometimes you are like, even this, should I do it? Or if I don't do it, a guy will do it. Let me stop. Then the man will do it. So you don't see a lot of the women. But well, once we have three, we used to be two, we have three. The other departments, they are picking more women. I'm sure with time we'll increase in number and then it will be 50-50, and then we'll all be fine. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Now I would like to have to ask you some chemistry-based questions. How do you
Yes.
think green chemistry approach would help us in overcoming the environmental hazards and the threat of climate change?
Please, can you come again?
And how do you think green
Uh-huh.
chemistry approach would help us in overcoming the environmental hazards and the threat
Okay.
of climate change?
Yes. So, I mean, the basic principles that we learn in chemistry is that first of all, if we consider the energy that we use, we know that our energy is from fossil fuels, and we have over the years understood that the burning of these fossil fuels affects the ozone layer. So, as the um, ozone layer is being affected, it means that the atmospheric conditions are changing. Over a period of time, you realize that if it used to rain in Ghana, let's say from February to somewhere in July, and so there's farming season. I mean, we plant. You realize that over the years, this pattern is changing. So within the period, say a period of 10 years, a period of 20 years, you realize that this pattern continuously change and change and change to the level that now you are not even able to predict whether it will rain or it will not rain. At first in Ghana, in December, you don't expect to see rain. We were in the Hamatan season. Now, as December it rained, in January there were rains. So what we are saying is that if we use so the green approach or the green chemistry is trying to use some of these our natural resources other than the fossil fuels. Example, know that if we can produce fuel from oils from seeds from plants, plants that will bear fruits will have the seeds in. We are going to eat the fruits, the seeds, instead of getting rid of them or keeping them for the next planting season. Oils can be extracted from them. These oils can be used to produce some materials. For example, we can produce biodiesel. This biodiesel can be used to power diesel engines. We understand that not only the oil is from a natural resource or is green, but the chemical compounds that are produced by these oils do not affect the ozone layer. And so once we are able to encourage such, we know that at least, if not for anything, we are reducing the emission of compounds that affect the ozone layer. So that is one. So that is how green chemistry can help. For example, if let's say we want to reduce the resistance of some microorganisms to some drug compounds, what we can do is also to tap into some of these natural products. And so these natural products will help us eliminate some of the resistance that occur as a result of we overusing certain drug compounds. Because these natural products have their own unique properties. And as we get them from different sources, they have different properties that can work together to help us solve some of the problems. And so these are the 2 points that I would want to share this.
Thank you for the insight, ma'am. And the next one is, how can we incorporate green chemistry practices in our daily life? And can you give us some examples that we could give it a daily life practice?
Yeah. So for a typical example, um, let's say we are using the fuel we use in the house. So we use, let's say, um, okay, let me use the example of um, the manhole, the biomass that we get from our water closets or from our toilet facilities. We know that as we gather this from our toilet facility, at a point we have to extract it or take it away so that we create space. This same material that is a human excreta that is not good can be converted to energy. And so currently, a group of people convert this to energy or to gas, and it is used to power the gas that's in the house to cook. It is used to power lights, lighting system, because that energy that has been produced is strong enough to generate electricity to help us light the system in the house. So you realize that a waste material that has been produced can be used to generate energy. In that case, we are not thinking about going to buy kerosene or going to buy the LPG gas. We have produced from our own waste that has been generated in the house, and that can be used provide power or energy in the house that we are in. So that's a typical example. Another example in our day-to-day activity is encouraging like gardening in our house or in our environment. So you just have your home, a small space. You plant some few, shrub or tomatoes or something that you can use. You use it as food. You help protect the land as well. And this also helps improve the effect of the weather patterns on the environment.
Okay, ma'am. Can you please tell us about your most inspiring project or research work in the field of chemistry?
So my one of the things I have done that inspires me a lot in my research is probably the current research that, or yes, the current work that I'm conducting. So during my PhD times, I studied the interfacial properties of systems. So my goal was to understand that if you have a drug compound and then the drug compound is not soluble in water, you still would want to carry that compound, and then when it's administered in a fat system, will be soluble in will be soluble and then will be taken up by the body. So I started studying what we call in chemistry colloids. So you have liquid, or you have two liquids that are not miscible, or you cannot mix them together, they cannot stay together, so they separate out. So you have these two systems, and I was trying to study how I can get them together. And then the long term goal is to use it as an excipient or to put in a drug compound. So I started studying oils so that I can mix vegetable oil, because my almost all the time my interest is in using the oil that we eat, or using the oils that we have in our environment. So I started studying vegetable oils. And then I realized that Ghana is blessed with a lot of seeds with oils. And these oils have unique properties, chemical properties, physical properties, which can be used as food. Some of these compounds can be extracted and used as nutraceuticals. Some of them that are not edible can be applied in the chemical industry. And then the funny thing, or what makes the work so interesting, is that then you realize that where we have these seeds growing in abundance, there's a lot of poverty there. So my interest was to study my chemistry and also help the people in the communities where these seeds are growing. And so I started this work. So I travel to parts of Ghana, different parts of Ghana. And the one unique thing too about these seeds is that where I was getting the seeds from are where we have a lot of drought, not so much rain. So it's like the savannah area. So you see, everything makes it interesting. This is a place that, because there's not much rain, there's not much farming activities, there's not much food. So the people there just trying to do a few technologies they can use in farming that they can produce something, and then they are poor, and then there's hunger, and then because the climate condition is different, when it wants to rain there, it can rain now and there's flood. When there's no rain, there's so much dryness that it's hot, nobody wants to stay there. Yet they have rich sources of seeds. And so it makes it interesting that you would want to do something, because at the end of the day, it's going to help these people. And of course, the whole of Ghana and even to Africa. So that's how I started this work. And I started by looking at it for my PhD as an excipient. And then I moved in to see, oh, okay, let's see if some of them will have some industrial properties. So I did a bit of biodiesel, but something still brought me back to say that no, this can be used to solve food security challenges more than industrial commodity. And so I started looking at those that are edible, those that have high nutritional content, and those that will have some medicinal properties as well. And so I think this is, and I'm still doing it. That's what I'm still, I don't know. Probably the last time I told somebody that until I give my professorial inaugural lecture on this, probably I'll never stop this work. So that is the most interesting and then fulfilling work I have done so far in chemistry, and I continue to do it.
Okay, can I say something? Can I talk? Because it has been
Yes, please.
well here. So, good afternoon. By name
Good.
Mohammed. Ibrahim Saleh.
Yes, please.
So actually, I've been trying to attend the lectures that's from the beginning, but due to some issues, one way and the other, so I was not be able to be here at the right time.
Hmm.
So actually, the lectures is kind of very good, but to me, as a microbiologist, you understand it. The lectures it looks somehow to me as in I was unable to understand some of the terms and terminologies that you people are using. So
Yes.
it will just as if I'm just looking at you people the way you are discussing, but some yes, some of the things I don't understand. So it feels
Yes.
like this lectures is for chemistry students.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, actually, I'm a microbiologist by profession. So
Yes.
so actually, some of the things I don't understand. Sure, but
Yes.
I'm still here.
Yes. So now I'll make my submissions more of friendly to everybody and not chemistry.
Because I can see she's just asking questions related to chemistry. I think maybe she too she's chemistry student.
Uh, thank you for the comment. I was trying to link between the environmental health aspect and her field of expertise so that we could all work together. We could link those things into our daily life and to bring about the changes to work towards a better thing. So, as she was more focused in chemistry, I thought it would be better if I could link the environmental aspect and the health aspect as well as the chemistry together.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And my last question for the day.
Mm.
Ma'am, do you have any advices or messages to the girls out there who are doing their researches and who are interested in doing the STEM in studies in their STEM subjects?
Okay, so I have one advice. So my advice is to believe in yourself. One of the things that earlier on in studying from science in the SHS to chemistry in the university, the very first question anybody will ask you if you told the person that I'm reading science in SHS is that can you do it? Then when you come to the university, the first thing they will ask you is that what would you use the chemistry for? Then the next thing will be can you do it? I remember when I told my brother, because I stayed with my brother in the city, that I wanted to pursue my master's. Then he asked me, Mercy, can you do it? So that's, and for me, if you say, can you do it? I don't link it because you think I'm a woman. I don't want to believe that. I want to believe that you think that it is difficult, so nobody can do it. Or maybe you have seen some traits in me that makes you think that I am weak, so I cannot do it. Not because I'm a woman. So I established that I survive because I'm a human being, not because I'm a woman or I'm not a man. So that's the
That's
first. So once I believe in myself that I can do, so when you ask me, can you do it? What I always say is that let me try and fail. I know that at least I tried and I failed. The next time, what made me fail, I may find a way of making it better. So I always want to try something. Even if it would take me longer than usual, I still would want to try it. And then once I try it, I mean, if I fail, I will not be the first person that would have failed. I will, and majority of the times, you see, they say that where there is a will, there is a way. And so, because I want to try, even if it takes me a longer time, I will still put in the effort and do it. Okay, so one thing that I want my young ladies to take with them is that they should believe in themselves. Nobody will believe in you until you have proven to be believed in. And you can only prove that by believing in your own self. we may have all sorts of challenges. I was telling my husband today that I hope that you don't ask me what are my challenges, because the truth is that it's a day-to-day affair. It's not like yesterday I faced the challenge, today I don't have any challenge. This week has been a very busy week and critical week for me. Why am I saying this? Because you see, Ghana opened schools and the university we have started, so I've been teaching. So I told myself that courses that we teach in a block with so different lectures but different areas, I would want to take my first and then do it. So I have calculated. I know that in a matter of 6 weeks, by ending of February, I would have finished with a lot of the courses, so that somebody would take over. Then I can be free and do other things. Then last Friday, my daughter came from school as if she was joking. She was not feeling well. The girl was sick. She was admitted at the hospital. You need to stay there with her. She came back and she cannot go to school. At least let me study her for 1 week before she can go back to school, considering the circumstances we are in. So you see that the whole week has been, so I'm in the house. Hurriedly, I will go and teach and run back home. And so it's a huge challenge. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but challenges will be there every day. But once you believe, when I started Monday, I said I was not going to teach the whole week. But at a point, I told myself, if I have all my notes, I get food for the child, and everything is in the house, I can go and come. And I've been doing that. So I go, I teach. Once I finish with my lecture, I run back home fast. It's like that. So it's believing you can do it. And I've done it for Monday, and today is Friday. I finished with my lecture. I thought today I was going to cancel that lecture and then get ready for this talk. But I still went for the lecture. Along the line, I said, let me go. I will just hurry up. Even if I do 1 hour, I would have gone for 1 hour. I went, I finished with the lecture. And then I came back in time to be able to start the talk. So it's about believing in yourself. Understand that your whole life is about yourself, and also believing in God. We all have, whoever you are, there's a particular God that you have, you say. Believe in God, because He's the one who directs our path. Once you believe in yourself, you believe in God, you commit yourself, and I think you'll be able to achieve a lot. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I want to add some points
Yes,
to
please.
what she just asked. So,
Yes.
apart from being yourself, I think the important part of it is you should have an aims and missions, or let me say objectives that you want to
Yes.
achieve. So,
Yes.
however, whatever you are going to do, if exactly you have already jot out your objectives,
Mm,
your aims, and the mission you really want to achieve, I think
mm.
you are at the right path.
Yeah.
You are going
Yes.
at the right.
If I can add something to what he said. If I can add something. So if I can add something to what he said, that is very true. So days that I think things are very, I mean, I have too much to do. What I do is the things I want to achieve. So in a
Okay.
particular day, I know that when as I'm going, I have a lecture. After the lecture, lecture maximum 2 hours, you are done. If I have two of
Okay.
such in a day, it means that 4 hours in the day is for lectures. When I am done with the lectures, I know that on the to-do list, so I call it a to-do. So in the day, I have a to-do, things that I need to accomplish in the day. So I will follow them. Sometimes it's so much that I'm not able to do all. But the ones that I'm not able to do, I will move it to the next day. I'll make sure I accomplish it the next day before I start the other days. And this to do, you set it up in terms of priorities. If I know I'm teaching tomorrow and the note is there for a while, I've not updated it. I've not done any update on it. Immediately I have the space, I
Immediately.
will update that lecture before the next day. And so every day, after setting up the things you want to achieve, you list them down one after the other. So that once this is done, you can take the other, those that you are not able to do, you know that you can do it following the next day. So setting
You
up
know,
objectives is very key.
actually, I told you earlier I was microbiologist. So after
Yeah.
my graduation, I did my service. So I was being able to selected as part of those that will undergo STEM instructors training.
Yes.
So when I went for the training, what they were just trying to put us through is about critical thinking and then
Okay.
problem solving. So
Yes.
when they now put us through this critical thinking and this problem solving, I now because at the beginning I don't even know what STEM is all about. Is
Mm,
when I went there, they now tell me STEM is science, technology, engineering, and
mathematics.
mathematics. I now
Yes.
ask myself, what am I going to do? What am I going to provide? Or what can I add to that STEM? So, but I now ask myself, let me be into it so that I will see what STEM is all about.
Yeah.
So I partake in the training for up to 6 months. They now put us through about all these critical thinking, problem solving, data processing, data analysis, and some other things like robotics.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, what they are just trying to put us through is we should have ourselves, as you have said earlier, and whatever that this thing we are doing, we we have mission on it and what we want to achieve at the end.
Mm,
So that's what even make us to stay, though they are not paying us, they are not giving us anything, but still we accommodate ourselves, we buy everything to ourselves, but we want to partake in that specific program. Because I can remember the ladies that are with us, we are 25 in number, but it's just three ladies that are there.
yeah. Yeah.
But that they have the zeal, they have the passion for that. Because some of the times before we even go there, you see them there. They are even performing more than us.
Yeah.
So actually, if you want to like put someone through into STEM, you have to at least explain to individual what STEM is all about.
Yeah.
If the person have passion for that, so if he has, then I think the person is good to go.
Yeah.
And actually all these reasons that you have been giving out, that is the same reason that some other ladies are giving. We are ladies, we cannot come out from our house from so time, this time I have to
Mm,
go and cook, I have to wash plate, this and that. So but
yeah.
as far as you know your aims, your objectives, you can plan everything accordingly.
Yeah.
Plan everything as you said. You are putting down some food to your children, everything, and now you are okay with everything because you have already planned for yourself. So
Mm,
if you have plan, you can do everything, you can do whatever you want to do as far as
mm.
you have the plan on ground.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I agree. I agree with that perfectly. I mean, you have to plan. Otherwise, they say that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
You plan to
Yeah.
fail. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Badu, and thank you so much for all the inputs, all the insights, and it was truly inspiring talking to you. And it was my privilege to have to have taken the interview with you. And now I take this opportunity the to announce our online store, that is the www.agenetworkstore.com. And also you could get involved with us by becoming a STEM girl, mentor, volunteer, ambassador, or donor. And you can get to email to us through stemgirls@agenetwork.com, and through our Facebook page, the African Girl Empowerment Network STEM Girl Initiative. I hope you had a great time. Thank you so much for being with us on this talk show.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
great pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you. Thank you for having me. Yes. I think I probably
I must come,
enjoyed.
I must come to Ghana.
You have to. You have to. Yes. One of these days you'll be here because we also have a STEM program we've been working on. And so the
Okay.
last time I was telling Elizabeth that the appropriate time we would do some things together. After all, Ghana and then Nigeria is not far. And then if Nigeria is connecting with the whole world, I mean, it would be interesting that we all come together and do something. And so I'm very happy to have this platform to have discussions with you. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, ma.
thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day
Bye.
ahead. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.